make sure this is live. Let me see. All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai Ba'ashem, Rekabidash. All right, I want to give double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and unto their elders, unto the men that rule and teach well. All right, to the hopeful elect out there, the house of David, Bayabshah Dawadah. The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means he exists or he is to be. The true name of the Son is Yahweh Shai, which means he is the deliverer. All right. And we are the Hebrew Israelites, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, right? But we actually make up the lost 12 tribes of Israel. The so-called white man, they're not white, they're red. They're the Idumeans, according to the Holy Bible. All right. And we're in the year of 2022, the year of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, turning things up, and to all the brothers out there, the sheep tuning in. Baba Kasha, please let me know if the audio is good. I'm just just wanting to go live in the spirit. There's a lot going on. All right, and I do have a few articles pulled up here. The first one I'm going to touch on. See if you can see that, which I know is backwards. I'll read it. Because that's not even it. I just had it up. Okay, there it goes. Okay, it says U.S. braces for a battering by 3 potential hurricanes in September, which September is like tomorrow. You see, so just in a week or two, Yahweh Shem Shai could have hurricanes tear shit up out here. All right, so-called natural disasters, which we know this is all done by Yahweh Shem Shai, orchestrated by the angels. Let me get that in Isaiah. Yep, went right to it. This is Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is he's visiting the world. We're living in a time where the Lord is going to visit the world that he made. All right. And how is the Lord going to visit? He's going to visit with earthquakes. He'll visit with tornadoes. All right. He's going to visit with floods. Right now, there's no water in Mississippi. All right. But the brothers down there are good, man. All right. Call Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. Whatever happens out here, but remember, I believe it's like a couple of winters ago, they had that fucking snowstorm that hit Houston, and people were freezing to death. People's houses were flooding. But the Lord had those brothers good down there, man. So the Lord has shit going on. Even right now, on the west coast of America, they're in a drought. They're in a severe drought. All right. While other parts of the country and the world, under severe flooding. But no matter where the Lord has his men, they're protected. You see. So we're living in a time of great miracles. I want to go to this page I go to for my for my Instagram. All right, it's called End Time Headlines, which they have a lot of good information. Real quick, they have they actually have a website too, right? It says, let me see. Mississippi governor declares emergency as Jackson's main water facility fails. 100K residents left scrambling for water. Okay, developing. The U.S. is bracing for 3 potential hurricanes in September, including one that could impact millions on Labor Day. And that's the one I actually just read. You see? Actually, let's see if I can pull that article up. Baba Kashaw, bear with me. It says, wow. There's so much going on, man. It's like, hard to keep up. But U.S. food production continues to get hammered by one disaster after another. So you got the droughts in the West Coast. Okay, where there's a droughts, there's no food because nothing growing, and then that drought creates a dry climate, a dry conditions, which result in what? Wildfires. You see, and that results into the wild creatures dying off. nothing growing, no food growing, which is going to lead to a famine, the destruction of the habitats of these animals, which is going to cause these animals to come and change their places, man. Which we have been seeing an uptick in animal attacks. I saw some earlier where this guy, you know, stuck his nose where it didn't belong, and his ass got hit up by a porcupine. It says rumors of war. Hezbollah September deadline could lead to a war with Israel. All right, man. It's exciting. We're living in exciting times right now, man. We'll open this in here. All right, here we go. It says 3 potential hurricanes could hit the United States in September after only the third hurricane free August in 60 years. The nearest storm as of Monday was described by the National Hurricane Center as being in the central tropical Atlantic, and they estimate the chance of it becoming a hurricane within 5 days at 80%. Two more will follow, one 600 miles east of Bermuda as of 2 p.m. on Monday, giving a 10% chance of becoming a hurricane, and the third off the west coast of Africa, giving a 30% chance of strengthening into a hurricane in the next 5 days. So, hey, Yahweh Shem Shai willing. Lord willing, the Lord smite this place. Because those hurricanes are plagues. These droughts are plagues, the wildfires are plagues. All right, so we living in a time where the Lord is continually smiting this place with plagues, man. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. Okay, and what's part of those signs? Well, us coming over here on slave ships, hell, Yahweh Shem El Shai waking up Abba Bivens, our apostles and elders, the men out there teaching, the valley of dry bones, camps waking up, the Northern Kingdom brothers teaching. I just saw a brother's channel from down there in, I believe it's Tribe of Asher, the brothers down there in South America, man. Okay, so that's part of the signs being passed too. That wicked being revealed, us finding out who the devil is. All right, identifying Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, as the devil. All right, the MOTB being introduced on a world scale. Okay, so this is how we know that the second coming of Yahweh is near. Okay, they're talking about introducing the CBDC, which is the central bank digital currency on 12/13/2022. They're telling you they want you're hearing the beat the war drums beating. All right, you're hearing the economic collapse being talked about more and more. These are all of the signs, okay, that we're measuring diligently. Okay, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time where in the highest, all right, dealing with Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, where Yahweh is going to send Yahweh Shai back. Okay, with Yahweh Shai is going to come Michael the Archangel. Okay, where in the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And when you look up that word visit, all right, there's two reasons why you visit someone. All right, you visit someone for good, for love, for charity, or you pay them a visit for what? Revenge. All right, to whoop their ass. And that's what the Lord's going to do. The Lord's going to come here to deliver his elect and to judge the wicked. All right, because this is a very evil ass world. Okay. It says, and also, man, I was reading another article, which there's a lot to talk about. I posted this another article on our camp channel, GMS Solemn Assembly 4. All right, that's our camp channel. Now check this out. It says the number of homeless is about to skyrocket in the U.S. as 3.8 million renters will likely be evicted in the next 2 months. So there's an increase in homelessness in America. Babylon the Great. There's an increase in 10 cities. Okay. So when the Lord does send these hurricanes, which Lord willing he does, more people are going to be displaced from their homes, man. There's a homeless epidemic in Babylon. There's an opioid crisis. There's a drug crisis. There's crime infested. Okay, miserable. This kingdom is becoming miserable, man. And the things people once enjoyed, they don't have the same pleasure in partaking in those events. All right, that's because the mirth of the land is gone. All right. Back in this article, it says a fourth storm is being monitored heading towards Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, but is not expected to hit the U.S. The last named storm to hit the U.S. was Tropical Storm Colin. Let me shut this window. It says the last named storm to hit the U.S. was Tropical Storm Colin, which landed in the Carolinas on July 2nd. Four storms are currently in the Atlantic, three of them potentially headed toward the U.S. Okay, let's get this in address. This is Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 18. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. So Yahweh Shem Shai is beginning to visit and take vengeance. The sins of Yahweh Shem Shai of Babylon, excuse me, the sins of Babylon have reached unto Yahweh Shem Shai, man. All right. Just like our prayers have reached. You know, the prayers of the humble, the righteous pierce the clouds. You know, back in Second Esdras 9, it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which this whole recent thing in America would be the Trump situation. You know, there's also increasing talks of the civil war because why? Because they stormed Mar-a-Lago. You know, now they talk about giving Trump X amount of years in prison. So this is rousing up these true patriots. And you know, Trump is like Esau's last hurrah. Okay. Well, guess what? Isaiah 19:2 speaks about how the Egyptian is going to be set against the Egyptian. You see? So Yahweh Shem Shai is going to cause situations to arise to make these Egyptians, which the modern day Egypt is America, all right? Egypt is synonymous with slavery, captivity, right? So were we not in slavery, bondage, and captivity? Okay. There a pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. There's a obelisk in Washington, D.C. So the modern day Egyptians are these Edomites, and they're going to fight, man. And there's uproars of people right now with this whole Trump situation. Okay. Hell, when the dollar collapses, there's going to be uproars of people. Okay. When people start losing their homes, their jobs, that's going to cause uproars of the people, man. Okay. You have people in the spirit like there was, I believe there was over there in Sri Lanka where they stormed the presidential capital. They was all in this pool, man. You had to get up out of there. Okay, guess what? That sort of activity, you know, like the world calls Black Air Force activity, that's coming to the streets of Babylon, man. All right. This is Second Esdras 9 and verse 3. Therefore, when it shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, right? Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, right? Before Esdras, before the foundation of the world. Okay, because Yahweh Shem Shai declared the end from the beginning. Hey, Shalom. Baba Kashal, let me know how the audio is doing. Salakia for my voice. You know, Jake kind of under the weather. Let me see. This is Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 9. Remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High power. All right, the water. Call all you like Yahweh Shem Shai. For I'm the Most High power, and there's none else. Okay, I am the power, and there's none like me. All right, this is what Yahweh is saying. Okay, declaring the end from the beginning. All right, you got this which he could be a Hamite, but this guy in Africa, you can't say the word beginning. Remind me that the brother shared it to me. He said, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. So we're in a time where Yahweh Shem Shai is going to do all his pleasure. And part of his pleasure is dealing with the four kingdoms, the four beasts of the book of Daniel, right? Where you had the head of gold, the Babylonians, you got the Medio Persian Empire, you got the Greek Empire and the Romans. All right. But as the apostles always say, the men of the Lord, they didn't understand back then that Rome had to fall and rise again. All right. There's two legs on the statue, right? So now we're in the second leg of the Roman Empire, in which during this Roman captivity, because these are the modern day Romans, that's when Yahweh Shai is going to come to that stone, that mighty stone, to smite the statue, all right, and set up an everlasting kingdom with his elect men. Okay, on earth, because heaven will be played out on earth. Our Lord's Prayer says, let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So we're actually going to reign and have rulership and dominion on the earth. But for that to happen, this kingdom has to fall. Okay, so we rejoice at the plagues. We rejoice at the signs. We rejoice at brothers and sisters waking up, man. Okay, these things comfort us as they should. Back in this article, it says this time last year, the U.S. had endured Tropical Storm Fred that hit Florida on August 16th and spawned 31 tornadoes from Georgia to Massachusetts, and Hurricane Henry, which slammed into New England on August 22nd, flooding large swaths of the coast. On August 29, 2021, Hurricane Ida made landfall near Fort Chun, Louisiana, with sustained winds of 150 miles per hour, tying the state record for the strongest landfall speeds felt with the 1856 Last Island hurricane and Hurricane Laura of 2020. So these hurricanes, even though it could very well be using this harp, weather manipulation, whatever it may be, guess what? Yahweh Shem Shai is still controlling E, man. So yeah, man, let me bring out the scripture again in Isaiah. Because you know what I noticed when there's a lot of so-called natural disasters, it fucks up these heathens. And good. Jake don't really have much out here. Like now, Jake might lose cars and shit. Car might get flooded out, but for the most part, these storms be fucking up these heathens. Now, of course, you did have Hurricane Katrina, was down there in New Orleans, which that majority affected Jake because they blew out the levee so that the water would go where Jake was at. You see, but for the most part, I noticed like these earthquakes, tornadoes, and shit. That be the Lord fucking up these heathens, man. Which he gonna get wicked niggas too. This second. I'm sorry. This is Isaiah 29 and verse 6. It says, "Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh Shem Yahushua hosts with thunder." Okay, I believe you had lightning strike, like a NASA ship. I forget exactly, but they had a lightning strike over there, man, at the NASA facility. Okay, that's an omen. Now you had lightning striking the Capitol down there in DC. Okay, and with earthquake. Okay, with great noise. All right, with storm and tempest, and that's those hurricanes. Okay, and the flame of devouring fire, and that's those wildfires, man. All right, destruction. The Lord's pouring out destruction. And then in the ledger, because this is a study Bible, right? I know you're not gonna be able to see it, it's gonna be backwards, but I'm just gonna show it anyway. It's a great study Bible. In the ledger, it says, when God, read it verbatim, when God comes as a warrior, he often takes the form of an earthquake, storm, or fire. Okay, really, that's the angels doing that. But we do know what? That the Lord is a man of war, you see? So now let's get let's go into this other article I got pulled up here, right? This one is from Natural News, which I also posted a screenshot on the camp channel, GMS Solemn Assembly 4, our camp channel, right? It says the great unraveling is now upon us. It's all breaking down with stunning speed, and that's dealing with the rulership of Edom, mainly Babylon the Great over here in America. It says the Western world is breaking down with stunning speed. That's all lies, delusions, all right, corruption, and fake fiat money printing have reached a tipping point of collapse. Good, because the elites are pretty much they're done with the dollar, man. All right, everything is set into place so that they can roll out their new world order agenda, their charagma. Okay, this is all paving the way to our new way of currency. This is what the CBDC is about. Okay, it's all about Revelation 13, 16 on down, putting aside you an electronic wallet so you can buy and sell, an electronic ID so you can identify yourself, um, insurance card so you can go to the hospital, etc. Okay, it says the governments of the world are criminal cartels that are deliberately dismantling food and energy resources, which is the Lord that's doing that, man. Okay, it says necessary to keep half the human population alive, which that goes to the back to the Georgia Guidestones, which we know earlier this year it mysteriously blew up. Well, guess what? That's the omen, all right, because on the Georgia Guidestone, it pretty much tells you that mass death is coming because one of their 10 commandments, quote unquote, because there was 10 laws on there. They copy everything backwards from the scripture, was to keep human population under 500 million. Well, hold up, it's over 7.82 billion people on the planet. So that means there's got to be a lot of people got to get slaughtered, man. And that's going to happen during the time of Jacob's trouble, during the time of World War III, during the time of the collapse of the currencies, the Civil War. A lot of people are going to perish, man. Okay, so population control is scriptural, man. Okay, they tell it. The Lord said 2/3 of His own people going to die, man. All right. It says this coming winter, Europeans are going to starve and freeze to death in record numbers that harken back to the Dark Ages. Okay, which we know, all right, it wasn't even called the Dark Ages, more the medieval times, and that's during that time period from about 111 AD all the way up to about 1325 AD. You had so-called Negroes or Moors, all right, ruling as Christians or Moreno Jews, which was so-called Israelites in power, all right. Nobility of England, right, the royals, the families, those were Israelites, all right. The Moors, those were Israelites, those are so-called black people, okay. All the so-called Mosaic arts, right. It says pre-electricity and pre-fossil fuel, North Americans won't be spared either, as rolling blackouts, right, which part of the plagues that hit ancient Egypt was what? Darkness. Okay. Another part of those plagues was what? Apparitions, sad visions, right? Those Egyptians were plagued by demons when the darkness came, right? You have movies like Insidious, Pumpkinhead, Return, Night of the Living Dead. You name it, the scariest movie you can think about, man, right? It says, and food scarcity will dramatically worsen in the coming months. All right, before I go any further, let's go to Isaiah 24. Okay, because this is a confused nation. But what the Lord is doing, He's breaking this down. This is Isaiah chapter 24. Now I'll just start from 1. Behold, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattered abroad the inhabitants thereof. And part of our curse was for us to be scattered. All right, I was just talking to the brother. He was telling me about some jakes he was watching in Morocco. Okay, so you have jakes in all over Africa. You have jakes all over in India, which the Lord sent Saint Thomas, the apostle, the disciple became an apostle. He went to India. And do you know to this day there's a Saint Thomas church out there in India? That's because there's Israelites in India. Okay, there's Israelites in Poland. There's jakes up there in Russia, you know, all over, man. Okay. Hell, the Lord brought these heathens over here to Babylon, you know. It says, and turn it upside down, right? Which Esau is doing that. All right. Esau is doing that. And he's fucking taking all the nutrients out of the food, taking all the oil out of the earth, playing with the weather. All right. Destroying the animals. All this technology has frequencies he's putting out is in the nuclear radiation is destroying the animals of the sea, causing them to beast themselves, and also the fowls of the heaven. All right. Hey, shalom. It says, and it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. Okay. Excuse me. Pretty much, man, it says, and I'm just reading the ledger here. It says this long list pairs of opposites is a striking way of saying that all human inhabitants of the earth will be judged without regard for social standing. And that links up with that links up with Revelation, where it says he calls it all, both small and great, right? Because a lot of these people out here through the idea of convenience and also through the idea of fear, that's going to lead them to take the charagma. You see, even among some people that know and believe they're Israelites, which is why we push heavy what faith. In the times that we're in now, you should be building up your faith. You know, a shalom, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Kadosh Brakatham, and to you sheep out there, man, to you brothers, right, to you sisters tuning in. It says, verse 3, the land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, and that's going to happen. Ultimately, the ultimate plague is the nukes, right? Because it tells you in Zechariah, and this shall be the plague. So this plague is going to be the plague of plagues, the cherry on top, if you will. Okay, but the land is going to be spoiled before that because you don't have raiders, you have the peacekeepers. With the peacekeepers are the blue helmets, the UN troops. All right, and they're not known for keeping peace. They're known for pillaging, spoiling, raping, and murdering. Okay, when they go in the country, which they're probably already here. No, I believe they're already here through the spirit. But they were talking about Sleepy Joe setting up a false flag using this whole Trump thing. Now either they could fake his assassination, or they could really take his ass out. Because if you remember on The Simpsons, that episode that was circling with him being president, they also showed him there in the casket and who they had, Lisa. Now there's also a picture of Kamala Harris being dressed as Lisa, where she had on like the purple and the pearl necklace. Okay. And just a few months ago, they were telling that Sleepy Joe had the 19 thing. You see? So all this is our predictive programming, man. It's all predictive programming, right? Method of revelation, right? It says, the land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh Shem Yahushua has spoken his word, right? And we know according to Edris, it says what they're going to do, they're going to cast them out of their houses and take away this good. So the land is going to be spoiled. You're just going to have these people, these madmen going out here ravaging shit. Hell, this man has executive orders on the book to take everything that you got, which we don't really own shit. Like a lot of our people, you may think you own your car or your house. A lot of our people are renting apartments and cars right now. All right, because the way it's set up, they don't want you to own anything. Right, so let me look up that quote from one of these elites, man. All right. Yep, I believe it's from the World Economic Forum. Okay. Okay, I can't find it right now. A lot of this information, man, they be taking off. Okay, but anyway, it's one of the at least. I believe it was Klaus Schwab, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, at the World Economic Forum, it says you will own nothing and you'll be happy about it. Okay, but even that, what you think you own or that you're renting, they got executive orders to take that shit from you. All right. I also saw another article where they ran down, the feds ran down on the Amish family, right? When the last time you heard about the Amish in the news? You don't hear about that like that. Because those people, they stay off the grid, they don't deal with electricity, you know, they pretty much grow their own shit, they make their own furniture, they do their own thing. But they ran down on this Amish family because how they were growing their food, because now they want control of the food, man. This is back in Isaiah 24:3. The land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua has spoken it. So the Lord's gonna do a number on this place, man. Way before the nukes hit, this place is gonna be fucked up, you know. Let's see if I could find that. Okay, it says Amish farm under threat from U.S. federal government for refusal to abandon traditional farming practices. Okay, it's like I know it's backwards, you know, but that's the time that we're living in. All right. Verse 4, the earth mourned and faded away, the world languished and faded away, and the haughty people of the earth do language, and haughty goes into pride, and that prideful spirit is heavy on our people. Okay. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, right? And the inhabitants, which you can link this up with Revelation 12, all right? The inhabitants of those elites, the men who have the power right now. Okay, because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, but under the inhabitants of the wicked, they have defiled the earth, man. All right, and it tells you how. It says because they have transgressed the laws, because these devils got the scripture. How they got it in their courtroom? Do they push? When have you ever heard about the land Sabbath? Okay, I never heard that until I came to the truth, man. I heard apostles and elders talking about that. I didn't know there was a land Sabbath. But you know who's in that spirit? The natives that had this land before the devil brought his ass over here, man. Okay, so they work the land. They constantly get the oil out. Okay, they're sucking the land dry, which is why the food, everything that's growing, is tainted. It's defiled. It doesn't contain the amount of nutrients that it should contain. Okay, the earth is overworked. It says they have changed the laws. All right, changed the ordinance, excuse me, broken the everlasting covenant, right? This whole alphabet agenda, man. Right? Now they're trying to give minor attractive persons a voice or a pity party, or they're pretty much saying that that's okay, which we all through the spirit we already knew that was part of the alphabet movement anyway. It was just a matter of time. But now we're in those times. We gotta be getting out of here. You know, I believe it's in Florida, which the craziest shit happens in Florida. The brother shared a video of a 4-year-old rapper, right? Flashing money, showing, of course, it was a Jake showing guns and shit. This has to be the last generation, man. You know, it says, therefore, had the curse devoured the earth, all right? And we know in Zechariah, it says, this is the curse that goeth forth over the earth, dealing with what? Chariots, the so called UFOs, man. And and this is why these devils have created a space force, because they know what's about to happen, man. Okay, and they know that there's no way they can even get near those chariots, right? It says, therefore had the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and there are few men left. You see, it says the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry hearted do sigh. The mirth of Taberah ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice ended, the joy of the harp ceases. Yeah, these old fucking national anthems and all that shit. The daughters of music are being brought low. Okay. It says, they shall not drink wine with a song, right? Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. So even this whole party spirit, man, this whole hot girl summer, you know, there's a girls' night out, whatever you want to think of, man. People are not gonna be in the spirit. They're not even gonna be able to go out. If the Lord could have more lockdowns coming, okay, shut people up and that. And when the first one was a test run, man. And that's the spirit our apostles and elders were saying that this is a test run. So the next time this happens, guess what? That's it. Okay. And that remind me of the scene from Constantine when the guy was trying to drink the liquor, but it just wasn't working, man. That's how these people, they're gonna try to find ways to escape reality, just like they do. That's why people are on drugs. That's why they are heavy weed smokers or alcoholics, because they're trying to escape reality. Okay, see, reality is that you live in a wicked reality is that you're in hell, man. Okay, a lot of our people can't deal with that, man. It says, and the so-called white man who we love so much is the devil. That's reality. Okay, reality is that this place is going to be destroyed. There's no way you can save it. Right? That's reality. It says, they shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. That's the point I wanted to make. The city of confusion is broken down. This place is being broken down. All right. Um, Financially, morally, on the government, right? The different on the political level, okay? The libs, the left versus the right, Democrats, Republicans is being completely dismantled. The infrastructure, the food, the air, all right, the ecosystems, man, right? Whatever on every level you can think of, Yahweh Shem Shai is breaking this shit down. Okay, it says the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in, and that's what's going to happen. And the times that come, people are going to be in the bathtub like Will Smith and I Am Legend with their windows and shit boarded up, man. All right, because there's going to be troops outside. Now, a brother just shared a video of a man in China trying to eat another man. All right, you had I believe it was the CDC put out a pretty much a plan to combat a zombie apocalypse breakout. You see, let me see if I can bring this video up. Yeah, I don't know if y'all seen that, but yeah, the brothers posted that, man. All right. Again, I know it's backwards, so I'll read it. It says, zombies in China. Man attacked and bitten. The Pentagon preparing for a zombie apocalypse. So it's going to be, and it shows you that in I Am Legend. You know, they're talking about we got the cure for cancer, this, and that. Right. Next thing you know, they went and took that taco sauce. All right. As brothers like to put it. And they started mutating, man. They started changing into monsters, demons, you know. So these people that take that juice, man, they got a rude awakening coming, man. You know, I was just on my way home and I overheard this Jake say he was going to take the second dose of that juice, that jungle juice, because he has to go to college. He didn't really want to do it, but they were making him do it to stay in school. That just go to show you, man. A lot of our people, you know, even though they don't want, even though in their spirit they know it's something not right with this shit, they're going to go get it anyway, and that's going to be their destruction if they're not part of the elect. You see, verse 11, verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. Right when there's no food in the stores, like it tells you in Esdras. All right. Actually, let's get that. Because every day I see articles about famine. And we can't forget how they were saying that there's only 10 weeks of wheat left in the world. This was months ago. So that 10 weeks is pretty much up. You see, and they use wheat to make everything pretty much, man. This is Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 22. And suddenly, okay, just like this whole tribulation is likened unto a woman in travail, a woman that's pregnant, and she could give birth at any second now. That's how we need to look at Babylon the Great. This place can be destroyed at any second now. All right. Yahweh Shai can return with the archangels and deliver us, okay, and destroy this place any second now. Okay. It's all going to happen suddenly. Because everything all just like when you were a kid, you may have had your dominoes, you would set them all up. And if you hit one, they all fall. You might put them in an S shape or whatever shape. Well, that's just like all of the events that are happening in the world right now. All it takes is one little event, and all this shit is going to crack. Okay. This is Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, even these fields. Okay. Because with all of these droughts and all of this flooding is causing crop failure. Okay. The wildfires are causing crop failure, the death of animals and cattle, the cost of fertilizer, and the cost is the price. With the prices going up, it's costing these farmers more to feed their cattle. So now they're selling off their cattle, or they're killing them, or they're just giving up being a farmer completely. You got the farmers in the state of mourning. Okay, so these once places that appeared sown, where they were growing different things like tomatoes, well, now they're telling you that there's a tomato shortage. You know, now these sown places are being unsown. Okay, in order for the food to appear in your grocery markets, your superstores, your supermarkets, okay, hell, your corner stores, man, your bodegas, okay, a lot of that shit has to be the growing takes place in the field with the farmers. It starts with the farmers, right? That's why they're being attacked the way they are. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Okay, so it's gonna come a time where people go to these supermarkets looking for food, looking for a way to feed their family, ain't shit gonna be in there. Okay, so what do you think people are gonna do? They're gonna go to their neighbor's house, man. Right? That's Second Esdras 15. So there's plenty of reason why every house gonna be shut up. Okay, but even you being shut up in your house, you gonna get your ass dragged out your house, man. All right. This is Second Esdras 15 and verse 18. I'm sorry, I could start at 18. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay, because of their pride, man. Okay, these people are prideful. The men are prideful. The children are prideful. Okay, these heathens are prideful. Okay, hell, you got Pride Month. You see, so you don't think the Lord is fed up with this place, man? Okay, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? Which your real neighbor is your fellow Israelite. That right? Like even the brothers, the brothers Gabar and Karatazah. I don't live next door to these brothers, but guess what? That's my neighbors. All right. People that actually live next door to, those are not your neighbors. Your neighbor is your fellow Israelite. All right. That's doing the work, or that believes in Yahweh Bashem Shai. Like, you sheep on the comment board, you will be considered neighbors, man. Not these people. Okay. But it's gonna come a time to where these people that are actual neighbors, who you live next to, you might have spoken to, you might have borrowed some sugar from, whatever, they're gonna turn on you, man. All right. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses. What this meaning? They're gonna kick the door down with guns drawn, okay, and spoil their goods. They're gonna take whatever they got. They're gonna be looking for food. They're gonna be looking for ammo. They're gonna be looking for clothing. They may be looking for women. They may be looking for children. It's gonna get real sick out here. Okay, all right, and shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. Right, only 10 weeks a week left in the world, like they were saying, and for great tribulation. Great tribulation is upon the world right now, man. Okay, the stage is being set for great tribulation. Back in this article, it says, North Americans won't be spared either, meaning you Babylonians, as rolling blackouts, right? You got Kamala Harris talking about space. Meanwhile, Mississippi is running out of water. So that just shows your government don't give a shit about you, man, right? It says food, fertility, energy, transportation, and supply chains are all being taken down in a controlled demolition of the Western world. And taking its place will be the rising BRICS nations, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and more soon to join. And which one thing about all these nations, they're all going digital. Okay. I just saw a video in China where a man paid for his drink with his face. Okay, what's that alluding to? That's alluding to having the electronic wallet in your forehead. And as I've been saying recently, for you, brothers out there that may have seen Fist of the North Star on that show, they show you two things very spiritual. They show you the nuclear destruction, and they show you people with 666 on their head, which that's alluding to what? Them having the charagma. You see, it says Western governments are waging genocidal wars against their own people. Informed Americans are fleeing U.S. cities as lawlessness and violence take hold. Yeah, a lot of people are leaving, and then you know where they're going? Texas. Okay, I believe it was the Purge Forever movie. It broke out in Texas. You see, and Texas is an open carry state, man. So hey, shit could pop off down there. Arizona, shit could pop off that way. You see, with the Civil War, it says the FBI and the Department of Justice, the DOJ, have been fully weaponized into a lawless crime cartel, and so is the IRS now. It terrorizes American conservatives. The CDC, FDA, and the WHO continue to push deadly um, snake bites that are killing people by the millions. And big tech, which we now know rigged the 2020 election by censoring the truth of Sleepy's laptop, is pushing woke, all right, alphabet movement while protecting groomers, child mutilators, and abortion mass murderers. That's because they're the spirit of there's a perverse spirit in Babylon. Okay, that's another reason why the Lord's getting rid of this place, man. Now the Lord could get rid of this off that one reason alone, just being the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, as is written in Revelation 11, this place has the spirit of Sodom in Egypt, right? This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 16. Actually, I'll start at 14. It says, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. All right, there's a perverse meaning wicked, backwards, sick. All right, I believe over there across the pond, they were protesting to sleep for bestiality, man. They call them zoophiles. You know, it says, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, but the Lord's going to totally strip all jobs from here, man. Like it tells you in Ecclesiastes, no, he that shall rise up at the voice of the bird, right? Which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. No matter if you're just an associate, which they always give Jake associate jobs, right? Right, you're never like the supervisor or the owner. You just work there. You're just a cashier and shit. So it don't matter if you're the cashier, the supervisor, manager, CEO. There's gonna be no work for you, right? Verse 60. And that day shall Egypt be like unto woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua host, which he shake it over, and Egypt being likened unto woman. Hell, in times of war, women don't go to war. Women look for men for protection. Women run around screaming, hollering like a chicken with their head cut off. So that's going to be the state of Babylon. Okay, especially the troops. Okay, I believe it's written in. I believe it might be in. I'll have to look it up. But it says that thy men shall become women in the midst of thee, man. Okay. Yeah, that was it on that. All right, back in this article. It says the British Royal Navy just launched an aircraft carrier, the HMS Prince of Wales, that broke down just one day into a 4-month mission. Apparently, one of the propellers won't work, as the multi-billion-dollar vessel can only sail around in circles. Somehow, this is entirely fitting, given the insanity and corruption and incompetence of not just the British Empire, but the entire swath of Western Europe nations that now demonstrate pure incompetence and suicidal tendencies. No doubt there are plenty of alphabets on board there. All right. It says Prince of Wales, but none of them can figure out how to make the propellers work. Hey, I got to get it now. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. All right. And that's even in the armies that align themselves to this nation, man. Because you got to remember, America's the whore that rideth upon the beast. Okay. It says, they have remained in their holes. Their might has fell. They became as women. They literally became as women. You literally have men that are changing their plumbing. All right. But they're right now in the military as warriors, man. Okay. But they have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. The Lord's going to nuke this place, man. All right. She shall be utterly burned with fire. It says, this is the perfect showcase of what Western civilization has become, which all the world follows the vibration of Western civilization, which is pretty much Sodom and Gomorrah, a way of living, and feminism, Queen of Heaven worship, which is a 1,000,000% destructive. Okay. It says, this is the perfect showcase of Western civilization has become an incompetent, groomified idiocracy of gender delusions and bureaucratic stupidity, pretending to still be a world power while their own people ready to be frozen and starved to death in a few months' time. Man, yeah, the Lord is through with this place. You know, let me see. I'll get one more article, then I'll close it. But yeah, there's a lot going on. You know. Says Californians are told not to charge electric vehicles days after announcement of banning of gas-powered vehicles. All right, confusion, man. Rumors of war. Hezbollah's September deadline could lead to a war with Israel, which we know, when that does happen, all right, America is going to back them up. And according to prophecy, at least the flock is going to draw them out to that war. Then Russia is going to get involved, all right, which is the bear. Okay, and Russia is also a guard onto Iran and other nations, which they have also linked up with China. So it's just going to be the third war is coming quickly, man. It's going to lead to a third world war, right? Which in the middle of that, Yahweh Shai is going to come, destroy their armies, all right, and simultaneously deliver the elect. So beautiful times, man. All right. Yeah, actually, let's just go into that real quick. All right, this is from End Time Headlines. It says, although most Israelis fear September 1st, which is tomorrow, all right, may bring with it a teacher's strike, there's another reason we should be concerned. A possible war on Israel's northern border in the wake of the most severe threats since 2006. The very fact that Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah has emerged from the bunker where it's been hiding most of the past 16 years, suggests that the effect of the crushing blow he was dealt in 2006 Lebanon war has somewhat faded. Okay, you know that's the weak stand I'm strong, man. Okay, because these nations they were once weak. Guess what? They now possess nuclear capabilities, or they're in cahoots with nations that do. So now they got the spirit on them of let's do it. Okay, let's get it popping. Let's fight. Let's go to war. All right, and that's the Lord waking up the mighty men. This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. In this scripture, the Gentiles will be, the Persians, the Russians, the FJs, okay, the Idumeans, etc. Prepare war. Now the Hamites too. Ezekiel 38 speaks about the Hamites, the Moabites, the washpot, right? Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. All right. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And in order for them to come up, the Lord is drying up the river Euphrates, man. Okay, well, that's prophecy too. This is from Le Monde. All right. It says Iraq's fertile valley is dying. Authorities estimate that Euphrates could dry up as early as 2040, which that's bullshit. Yahweh Shem Shai willing, is not about to be here that long. You know, but the Euphrates is drying up, man. All right, this is recently too. This is from August 21st, 2022. By the way, it says from the top of the old tourist complex built on the shores of Lake Sawa in the province of Al Muthanna in southern Iraq, the desert stretches as far as the eye can see. The buildings have been abandoned since 2003, the U.S. British invasion. In the past, where water was up to the banks, fish and birds we used to come to swim, picnic, and take a boat ride on the lake, recalled Abdallah, a 40-year-old cab driver who has come from the neighboring town of Samawa to enjoy the calm of the place in the middle of the day. Today, the entire ecosystem of Sawa is threatened with extinction. In April, the lake dried up completely. Okay, so there you go, man. Now let's get that in Revelation. The Lord's gonna dry up the river Euphrates. This is Revelation chapter 16 and verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, which that's happening now, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared, so that those nations over there can get prepared to cross through for war, right? And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Okay, so that's going into Washington, D.C., which is the military branch. You got London, the financial branch, and then you have the Vatican going into the spiritual, which is on the left hand side because they deal with religion. All right, going into the third unclean frog, man. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, right, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of the great day of Yahweh Shem Shai Almighty. Right now in the ledger here it says the three unclean spirits are demons performing miracles to influence these kings to do the will of Satan. All right, and we know that the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Shem Shai. So the Lord is putting on these spirit nations to fight, man. The Lord putting on the spirit of these nations to war. This is Proverbs 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Shem El Shai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord's putting on his spirit to gear up for war, to get ready for war. Back in Joel 3, in verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords, and plowshares are forming an instrument. Okay. But now instead of putting their money into agriculture, things of that nature, Now these nations are putting their money to what? Their military, their weaponry, okay? Nuclear capability, okay? And you're pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong, right? Assemble yourselves and come down, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause the mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh Shem Shai. They're all going to be brought to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which that goes into Yahweh Shaphat, meaning Yahweh's judgment. Verse 12 says, let the heathen be wakened. That word wakened means to be roused up, it means to be in sight for war. Okay. So the spirit of war is going to overtake these people, right? And come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh Shaphat, which means Yahweh's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So the Lord's going to gather these nations there to destroy them there. He's going to make them fight there. In the midst of their fighting, third woe, the Lord's going to destroy them. This is Revelation chapter 11 and 14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly, right? World War I is past. World War II is past. Hell, the Vietnam War. You had many wars, Desert Storm. These wars are past, but now the third war, which is going to involve the whole world, okay, that's coming quickly. So I'll read a little bit more up in here now. And it says, Nasrallah's swagger means he is convinced that the next flare-up with the FJs will be very different from the one that saw him run into hiding in 2006, which he's right. Why? Because now they have different nations backing them up, and they're not weak anymore, right? Nasrallah is not the adventurous or gambling type. His many years at the helm have taught him how to spout lofty rhetoric while adopting a cautious posture. He's not going to suddenly launch a surprise missile barrage on Tel Aviv. On the other hand, he is apparently willing to play with fire, convinced he can control the blaze. All right. The threats he has been sounding are very clear. If the FJs go ahead with his plan to extract gas from the Karash field in the Mediterranean Sea without resolving its border dispute with Lebanon, the Shiite terrorist group will act to stop it, even if it means a full-scale conflagration. All right. This is Mark 13. I've been going into this a lot, because it's quick and to the point. This is Mark 13. Let's see. Mark 13 and verse 8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. For there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles, and these troubles go into the uproars of the people. Okay, these are the beginning of sorrow. So yes, it's only the beginning of sorrows, man. Right? Because with this brings the return of Yahushua. This is 2nd Esdras 13. I'll start from 1, now end it here. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. So the Lord gave Esdras a vision. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. All right. That's pretty much Yahushua cracking the sky, Matter of fact, I saw a post, all right, from an Israelite woman, and she said she was talking about Jesus Christ cracked the sky. Now maybe she watch us. I never heard that in the church, okay, but it's spiritual that people, people are talking about Yahushua, which Jesus Christ in His name, but that's still spiritual. That there's a Facebook post that says that, man, right? And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. That's Yahushua coming back with all the chariots, Michael the archangel, in his glory, right? And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. That's the glory, the power that they coming in. All right, the concentrated energy that's going to come out of those chairs is going to be like something you have seen on Independence Day, where the chariot destroyed the White House, the War of the Worlds, where people were turning to powder, right? And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, out of those ships. All they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the earth. And that's what this whole one world order agenda is all about. They really want to come back to stop the second coming, you see. But all these nations are now in the spirit to where they're fighting to be the top dog, right? It says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graded himself a great mountain, which that's going into the size of the chariot, and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not because of how big it was. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there's fright. Yeah, it says man's heart's gonna be failing for fear, right? For fear, excuse me. So a lot of these soldiers, they're gonna be out there in the field. When they see those chariots, they're gonna might think it's really an alien invasion. They're gonna start having heart attacks and shit. They're gonna start bugging out. A lot of them might try to commit suicide, right? Like it tells you in Revelation, now men shall seek death and not find it. A lot of them gonna go AWOL. A lot of them gonna get destroyed. All right, the chariot just gonna zap their ass, right? But some of them, the Lord's gonna put the spirit of pride so that they fight, right? And it says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and that's the concentrated energy, all right, from the chariot, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. So you can imagine the glory Yahushua is coming back in, man. All right, and the power and the anger that he's gonna use to cast his fury down on all these damn heathens and destroy the ass, man. And that spiritual, this brother named G.F. Nessa, I saw a chariot, 144 as a spirit, man. You see, we are going to see chariots, you know, which there's an increase in chariot sightings. You know, a lot of brothers are seeing more chariots at the camp. You know, there's one night I went outside, you know, because I have so-called asthma. I need to get some fresh breath. And I saw two chariots right where I live at, man. You know, the park where I live at is called Joshua Park, which you know Yahushua and Joshua have the same name. So everything is spiritual, man. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there is spite. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held the sword, right? Nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. So all these armies that are going to gather over there, they're going to die over there, man. Okay. Hell, they're going to have to draft people, man. People, especially from Babylon, they're not joining the military, man. They're going to have to draft people. Hell, over there in Ukraine, they're drafting women. People don't want to go to this third world. All right. And even if they do, they're going to put a electronic wallet in your ass. Like you got this episode on Netflix. It's from Dark Mirror, excuse me. It's from Dark Mirror on Netflix. The episode is called Man on Fire, which there's a Jake in the military who has the Karagma implant in his mind. Okay. And with that implant in his mind, they send him on missions to kill roaches, which they appear to be monsters to the people in the military because they got the wallet in their mind. But come to find out, they shine a light on him, and he find out that he's actually killing humans. But this implant is making him do things. This implant has turned him into a madman, sparing none, pretty much, man. So these people that do join the military, they don't get out. The Lord, if they lot to be in the third woe, they're gonna be crazy. You see, it says, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, meaning people, as a, people you can't count, man. You gotta imagine how many Moabites it is. So imagine a very large army of Moabites, which the People Liberation Army, that's what they call it. They're fighting force, so they're military. Then you got the Russian troops. Then you got the Persians. Then you got the Ethiopians, the Libyans, the Hamites. Then you got the the military, the Marines, the Army, the Air Force. Okay. Then you got the small hats. So it's a numerous multitude of armies gonna be suddenly wiped out, man. Okay. It says nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. So that's like millions of people dying at once. When I saw this, I was afraid. Okay. But yeah, that with that, I'm gonna end it now. I pray this was edifying, comforting, and faith boosting. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekakodash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect.